Hola Ufelas, aquí les traigo un video completamente subtitulado al español de Ultra VEGITO. Podrás encontrar todos los links del creador de este contenido en la descripción del video. Y ahora, disfruta.
An entertaining round that was. This is the kind of spectacle we all expect from this tournament. One-on-one seems to be a very good choice of condition. To that end, round 6 will follow the same format. A battle to the death. And the contestants chosen will be Elder God Zeus versus
But interrupting himself, a mysterious laughter would come out of the old god's mouth until
Elder God Cronoa.
Oh dear. As for the very first time, Cronoa would lose her confident smirk, being finally up now against the true challenge, the strongest of all elder gods. A visible sweat drop coming down her face, as it would be clear she would be nervous.
Get it together, woman!
But it would be at this point the god killer would slam his hand down on her shoulder, reassuring her in some way. But turning her head to him, Cronoa would be quick to let out, "You aren't suggesting you're the fighter I put in, are you? The plan is for you to absorb more and more fighters to ensure our victory. There is no need. We have 4 fighters. We still have Goro to lose if we must. If we lose you, then..."
Relax! Trust me. The powers I'm stealing from this tournament were never necessary in the first place. They aren't for fighting other fighters in this tournament. I'm saving that power for somebody else.
As just like that, VEGITO would then vanish, leaving Cronoa just pondering, saving them for somebody else? What does that saying mean?
I'm ready!
As crashing down on the stage again, just moments after leaving it, the God Killer would be full of enthusiasm, ready to showcase even more of his unstoppable power to the masses. And looking up to the balcony above, he would even call out,
"Well, old man, you're quick to rush everybody else, but now you're the one making us wait. Hurry up and pick your choice. I suggest your strongest. Let's give these people a show." My strongest fighter would end you in seconds, boy. If a show is what you want, I will pick someone who will at least play with his food.
VEGITO! But back away in the quarters, the God Killer's teammates would now realize he'd entered again without any discussion with them, as Kumba would let out,
"His confidence, it's increasing minute by minute. He's shown Cronoa's cards first by jumping in like that. Now Zeus could really pick his strongest fighter to make sure he dies."
As Charlotte would add, "What is he thinking? Does he really believe he's the strongest here already? What did he achieve in those extra decades training without us?" But back to the stage.
What a poor decision to bring your strongest fighter in a round where one must die. As expected of the most lazy elder god Cronoa, I call upon King, come forth!
As just like that, finally, a new warrior would be declared by Zeus. One which we clearly cannot tell was who by name just yet. But it would seem when Zeus would call out this name, the Saiyan would have other problems to deal with, as all around him suddenly, like he were no longer in the tournament, only darkness would surround him.
What the hell? Did Zeus do this?
Quickly turning around from side to side, his heart rate starting to go up in the confusion until...
What is going on?
Immediately losing grip of any kind of surface, being dragged physically down, VEGITO would begin plummeting through what seems like an infinite darkness. But soon enough, the complete darkness would end, and VEGITO would find himself instead crashing for a major splash in a sea in a dimly lit cave.
I hate being wet! What is Zeus playing at?
And for a moment, the God Killer would tread water, observing his surroundings and noticing he was alone. Before suddenly then descending into the body of water on purpose. Reaching the bottom, holding his breath, before yet again looking around, but coming up short, since nothing was here either. Now swing back up to the top. Escaping the sea, and then landing gently on its surface, using his own energy to create a makeshift surface.
I'm wondering if I've been disqualified, or this is part of the plan. I can't even sense the other elder gods watching anymore.
But now, using his finger to pick his ears, he would grumble further.
But regardless, whoever plunged me into this freezing cold water is going to pay! I hate water!
But soon enough, it would seem the person he was looking for was now arriving on the scene, as in the distance, a pair of regal feet would finally be landing opposite the God Killer.
Seems fate has aligned for us, God Killer. Zeus called me from my throne, specifically to kill you. What are the chances I would finally get to finish my job early?
As standing there as the one known as King would be a royal and demonic-looking figure introduced to us earlier. His power unknown, but his aura telling us all we needed to know.
So you're King. I haven't seen you before, so I've got nothing to go on here. Just the way I like it.
As VEGITO, already in his Saiyan fighting stance, would not be fleeced in the slightest. And as the two would stand on the watery battlefield, King would then continue.
That stance. You seem ready for me. But are you sure you haven't got something else to deal with first, child? What?
As the second the God Killer would hear this, he would sense a tremble beneath him, slowly sending his eyes downwards until...
Where the hell did this come from?
As right under the God Killer, beneath him, what could only be described as a giant sea dragon, a Shenron from the abyss, would be stalking him from beneath, with its mouth wide open. And just like that, it would explode out straight to swallow this Saiyan meal.
What a joke! Is this how Zeus's fighters fight?
as Vegito, immediately jumping straight out of the way, would just find the whole thing a farce. Now smiling as the beast would begin moving its body back to catch him, saying,
"I'd have escaped this thing even back when I was training with Roshi."
As now flying and swirls all around the creature, the God Killer would make a mockery of the situation. Jumping again when the dragon would come crashing straight back into the sea. But when it would rise once again, the God Killer would have enough, letting out,
"Alright, playtime's over."
As with one straight slice upwards, the sea creature would be split straight into two. His massive fleshy body exposing its insides, with the cut so sharp and precise, no blood would come out at first. Only in a delay after, like a fountain, it would all burst out. But from behind, a certain horned figure would use this chance to make an unexpected move.
What?
As thinking fast, Vegito would turn and collide his elbow with King's fist for a furious impact.
Coward!
As turning back, clearly trembling with his teeth gritted, struggling to even hold back his pain, Vegito would say,
"Attacking from behind? I've got to say, for someone called King, you act far more like a pauper." "The battlefield knows no rules. Wars are won on barbarity, not humanity, mortal." "I'll show you barbarity!"
As immediately swiping his still engaged Godslayer blade up, Vegito would attempt to slice off King's face, but the warrior would expertly and easily move out of the way. And not only that, but immediately swing back forward to throw out a fast-moving punch, all caught in Vegito's sights, however. And just as it would, Vegito would take things up, activating his green seraphim. And it would be here that Vegito would then suddenly showcase a new defensive technique, taken straight out of the playbook of Android 17 it would seem, as he would surround himself in a green protective barrier. But energy barrier or not, this stiff punch from King would already begin cracking it like it were glass.
What is that?
And as the cracks would deepen, opening his palm on the other side, 4 strange shapes would summon in King's hand. And like sniper bullets, they would completely fire through and shatter the energy barrier into nothing, Vegito being forced to swerve back to dodge.
Get away from me!
As after powering up energy in his palm mid-fall backwards, the God Killer would then immediately blast back straight onto King's face, seemingly evaporating him instantly.
What? It didn't!
But judging from Vegito's reaction, the intended effect would not be what he wanted.
Weak!
As not affected whatsoever, King would come straight through the blast and land a brutal right hand straight on Vegito's face.
Weak! Let me show you weak!
But curiously, the defiant God Killer would not be sent back, instead forcefully holding his head in place, pushing backwards, before with a view of his own free right hand, it would begin vascularizing, tightening his fist as his muscles would instantly bulk up and...
What? With a vicious return,
Vegito would smash his fist straight into the side of King's body. The Elder God warrior immediately and for the first time recoiling in pain. As on a view of his insides, the impact would be so brutal, his actual ribs would crack and disassemble in real time. Ultimately sending King back, skidding across the surface of the water and away from Vegito. Where did that come from? Now I know why Zeus needed me. As with a line of blood now coming down from King's mouth, finally, he would have some respect for who he was facing. While meanwhile, Vegito with his head ducked down would now have black lightning spontaneously erupting from his body. His voice hushed, muttering out, "I can't believe Cronoa was worried for me against the likes of you. What a throwaway character you are. It's time I showed her why there's nothing to worry about." As lifting up his head, Vegito would reveal the most terrifying array of eyes he had ever showcased. Not one, but two sets of Elder God eyes. The Arc-Saiyan eyes taken from Broly, and in the middle, in his third demonic eye, would now be Cronoa's Infinity Eye also. Just what kind of power will the God Killer possess now with this combination? Eventually even blasting him.